If you are sick and tired of hearing people say networking is the number one way to get a job in this market, I've got good news for you. There is another way to get a job in this market. But to do that, I've got to break it down and explain it to you. So if you have more than 30 seconds, stay here. If not, bookmark it and come back because it does take me a minute to explain it. Speaking of which, the reason I feel qualified to share this with you is I'm a 20-year career coaching veteran who used to work in the staffing and recruiting industry. So I know exactly what it takes to get hired, especially in what is the biggest white collar job recession we have ever seen right now. So to do this, I've got to break down why they think networking is the number one way and then teach you the better way to do it when you don't have a network. Sound good? Okay, let's do this. So first of all, your network is your net worth. This is something they say all the time in your career because most people have been able to get job opportunities by being referred in. But why is that? Well, the truth is, it comes down to a concept called evidence based hiring. Companies now are very focused on getting the evidence or the proof that you can do what you say you can do. And so a referral is one of the fastest ways for them to weed out a sea of applicants and hire somebody faster. So, why is that? Well, if they've got a good person working at the company that's doing a super job, and this person comes along and says, I know another person that's like me, by default, they're thinking good people know good people. This could speed up the hiring process. And that becomes important because in a market like this one, where companies are literally getting thousands of applicants that all look the same, they need a way to discriminate. You heard me. They need a way to filter out. I mean, if you have 1,000 apples that all look the same, but you can only eat one apple, how do you choose one? That's what it feels like to employers right now. So they are using things like referrals, networking as a way to shorten the list and pick people that by default they feel are probably going to be a better fit because they already know somebody that's being successful at their company. Okay. But as I said, what do you do if you don't know anyone? All right. You've got to create evidence. If it's evidence based hiring, you've got to create evidence and proof that you are who you say you are. How do I know this? Well, every single day, my clients come to me inside Work It Daily and they say, JT, if I could just get in front of them, if I could just share with them my skills, they could see I'm a fit for this job. I bet you're guilty of saying that too, right? But how do you do that? Well, what you don't do is use your resume or LinkedIn profile. Those are actually not working for you. And let me tell you why. Because everybody's using them, and worse, they're using AI to build them. I was at LinkedIn's largest talent conference 2 weeks ago, 1,800 global talent executives. And one of the biggest complaints I heard was the sheer volume of applicants they're getting now that are all using AI tools to create resumes, cover letters, and even LinkedIn profiles. The problem is everyone looks the same. And even worse, when they do start interviewing those folks without a referral, right? Those people turn out to be not who they said they were. So everybody in the recruiting industry is talking about ways to authenticate that somebody is who they say they are, that they can do the work. So, what ways can you authenticate yourself? Again, it's not going to be your resume, it's not going to be cover letter or LinkedIn profile. The way we're teaching people to do it at Work It Daily is to first back channel and then use a connection story for validation. So, quickly back channeling. The channel that most people are using right now, the path that most people are using is applying online. That is a waste of your time when you have no connection. Okay. Reason for that is only 1% to 3% of people that apply actually get through and get called for an interview. That means you have a 97 to 99% failure rate every time you apply online. What other thing do you do in your life repeatedly that has a 97 to 99% failure rate, right? I mean, that's the definition of insanity, but that's the channel most people are using unsuccessfully. You need to back channel, find a different path. Now, really quick, a lot of people are thinking, well, I'll just go straight to recruiting or I'll go straight to HR. And that was a path that worked for a while until now, because everyone else is doing that as well. And so they're getting inundated and they're not responding because they can't handle the sheer volume. So the back channel that's working the best right now is connecting with people who work directly in the department you'd want to work for, or even people that just work at the company in other random departments, but that you have some kind of commonality with. Went to the same school, studied the same thing, whatever it is. Okay. Now, once you start to identify people to back channel with, you need to lead with your connection story. Why is that? Because the connection story helps them understand why you get them. It is the story of how you feel connected to the job and connected to the company. It's not that you heard they're a great place to work or they pay really well. It's that you really understand the business, the products, the services, the customers. And when you can share that connection story, it shows them what will light you up and motivate you to get out of bed and crush the job every day. This is the evidence that they need. They need to feel something for you. This evidence is where they go, wow, this person back channeled to get to me and shared a very specific reason why they feel connected. This person has skin in the game. This person's making an effort. This person's hustling. Okay, this is person who's providing evidence that they would be a good hire. Okay, so back channeling and connection story are the key. But now I'm going to give you, if you made it this far, I'm going to give you the secret sauce. I'm going to give you the thing that's been working right now in this market. And at first, you're not going to like to hear it, but if you hear me out, you'll understand what I mean. The secret to really getting people to want to interview you is video. You heard me. It's taking that connection story. Hey, here's 3 reasons why I think your company's amazing, putting it on video and sharing it with those people that you're back channeling with. Now, before you come at me and say, that's discrimination, it's going to lead to discrimination, you're wrong. Okay. Are there companies that will discriminate? Sure. But the evidence over the last year and a half, which I've been studying and helping people use video, far outweighs that. Very minimal. In fact, people are circumventing the process and getting interviews because if you think about it, that video is the first interview. The reason companies interview you after looking at their resume is what? To validate and authenticate you are who you say you are. So the new interview is going to be video. The new way to authenticate you is going to be video. This is not going to go away, folks. Think about the evolution of this. There was a time where we didn't need a resume until we did. There was a time that we didn't need a cover letter until we did. Then we didn't need a LinkedIn profile, and now we do. Well, guess what? All those are going to go away, and video as a way to authenticate you and provide that evidence is going to become the new normal. And it's not as hard as you think. There are tools like the McCoy mobile app. I've talked to you about this before, and full disclosure, I now advise them because I have seen how successful this video app works, right? It's a free mobile phone app for the iPhone. Okay. You download it and you create these videos that you introduce yourself. It's a URL that you message in the back channel. And when they read it and they see it, they open it and they listen to you and they authenticate you are who you say you are. Now they're like, wow, this is exactly the kind of person we need. I love that connection story. But more importantly, when they open it, at least with the McCoy mobile app, you get a notification so you know they're looking at it. So this is how recruitment and getting a job is evolving at lightning speed with technology, and why video is going to lead the way as a way to authenticate you. Now, some of you have maybe seen it already, where companies send you a link and say, hey, open this up. It's going to ask you some questions. We're going to record some video of you, and then we're going to come back and evaluate it. I'm not a fan of it, and neither are you, because we don't get any control over what we're saying, and we don't know where that video is going. Which is even more reason why, folks, you should be looking into proactive video. Again, the phone app McCoy is a great one to at least check out as a way to control the messaging, control the authentication. This is going to be the future. This is the new normal. So let me recap for you. No network? It's okay. Learn the right way to back channel, lead with your connection story, and if you really want to crush it, start using video to share that connection story. This is how people are getting hired right now every single day. And if you don't want to do it, if you're like, this sounds like too much work, I understand. But again, you can keep spending hours and hours and hours wasting time, 97 to 99% failure rate applying online with no connection. Or you can speed this whole thing up, be super selective, and start reaching out to the companies that really matter to you and sharing your connection story, hopefully with video, and seeing them go, wow, that was amazing. You were great. We loved your story. Let's get you in for an interview. Just saying. There it is. Folks, I hope this helped. If you made it this far, 2 things for you. I go live with the JT Talks Job podcast every Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday. You will find me on LinkedIn, TikTok, and YouTube. Follow me on any of those pages. You'll be able to come there, get your questions answered. Feel free to put your questions down below. I'd love those as well. And mostly, if you would like me and my team to help you, head over to Work It Daily. You have earned a 7-day free trial, risk-free, nothing of cost to you, 7 days to try it out and see what having a career coach teaching you back channeling and all these other things that you need will do to help you land a new, better paying job faster. If that sounds great to you, go grab your 7-day free trial over at Work It Daily. You'll find the link in my bio down here, or just go to workitdaily.com. We would love to work with you. Okay, good luck. Go get them.